Wake Up, This is Joburg is a brand new series of books celebrating the raw beauty of the city of gold. Written by urban planner Tanya Zack and photographed by Mark Lewis, this series showcases Joburg dwellers and their unique and remarkable ways of making a living and a life. Today I have Tanya in studio with me to chat to us a bit more about the series. Hi Tanya, how are you?
Hi Tumi, thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Can you tell me a bit more about, the whole series?
So Mark Lewis and I are working on a series of 10 photo books, and they celebrate life in Johannesburg, but they follow interesting people doing interesting things in interesting spaces of Johannesburg, and it gives us an opportunity to look at the lives and the livelihoods of those people, but also to look at the space in which that activity happens.
You have a very interesting title for the series, which is Wake Up, This is Joburg. Who is this, particularly directed to? Is it to the people of Joburg or to the city itself? And how did this title come about?
Well, the series is focused on our own curiosity in the city. It tries to uncover things that might not be hidden from all people of Johannesburg, but are hidden from many of the people of Johannesburg, getting under the skin of the stories. And so it's a call to be alert to the reality of the city, and particularly the inner city. And the stories really are about things that we find interesting and that we're curious about, but also stories that work both photographically and in terms of the narrative.
What inspired you to primarily focus on Johannesburg as a city?
I've grown up in Johannesburg, and all of my working life has been in Johannesburg. I love the inner city. I'm fascinated by it. And in around 2009, I had the opportunity to work in the city at the JDA, and in that time had the opportunity to walk a great deal in the inner city and discovered that it was changing so rapidly and in ways that all of my urban planning training didn't equip me to understand. And really the best way to understand it, or to try to make some sense of what I was seeing in this incredible and rapid transformation, was to look and look and look.
Yeah. So obviously you have different stories in throughout the series. How do you go about choosing the subjects for each book or each story? Is it pre-selected? What exactly inspires you to be like, okay, that's the one we're going for this series?
It's not pre-selected. We trawl the city. There are certain subjects that fascinate me as an urban planner. Informality fascinates me, and so it was fairly obvious to look at one of our subjects is waste pickers, informal recyclers, reclaimers in the city who work incredibly hard to pick waste out of dustbins in the city. Some walk 30 kilometers a day and then walk an incredibly long distance with an incredibly heavy load to the recycling depots. And to understand the life of people and the daily cycle of people undertaking this very productive task in the city, which is entirely unpaid. So it was obvious to follow informality in various forms, and we also look at the informal trading market in Joburg, which is an incredibly fascinating space. For me, those are the kind of spaces in the city that really make Johannesburg a world-class African city.
Absolutely.
If only we could celebrate what is African about the city.
What do you hope that the series of books will achieve?
I hope it will achieve an increased curiosity for the city and an understanding of the individual people behind that, because I think we so easily generalize. And if it does contribute to that, that would be great. And if people just enjoy the books for the writing and for the photography, that's also fantastic.
In some of your books, you do use the use of other languages. Is there a reason why you've chosen to do this?
That was an innovation that our editor Bronwyn Law-Viljoen came up with, that we translate every book into a language which fits the main protagonist of the book. And that makes the books more accessible. It's also a respect to the protagonist in the story. So Our books are translated into various languages. There are books that are in French, in Zulu, in Xhosa, in Portuguese. So, yeah, that's the translation is an innovation of Fourth Wall Books.
Very interesting, because it's all about Joburg, and you know what, we have a variety of different cultures. It's a diverse city, you know, within the country that we live in. Tanya, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm definitely getting my hands on the book. Well, guys, you've heard it from Tanya Vuga Guse Jozi. Wake Up, this is Joburg. Definitely a series of books that you should get your hands on.